Public lands play a critical role in many of the West's ranching operations. NCBA works with the Public Lands Council to help solve some of the unique challenges that come with using the lands. Cattleman to Cattleman reporter Jim Witt had a chance to learn more about public lands in Idaho last fall.
Well, what I tell people, other producers, as I travel throughout the country, other farmers and ranchers, that what happens on federal lands and public lands in the West will eventually happen to them. We seem to be on the cutting edge or the guinea pig of you know, the implementation and interpretation, new interpretation of the Endangered Species Act, the Clean Water Act, and so what happens to us out west will eventually cross time zones and happen to people who own private property.
Andy GROSETA served as the 2008 president of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. As a rancher from Arizona, he knows firsthand the importance of public lands. In the West, many states are divided into a patchwork of public and private lands, actually based on the way the West was settled. Private ranchers claimed the best land, and today the government still maintains responsibility for the rest of the acreage.
These lands we're looking at as public lands truly are the lands that nobody wanted after the Homestead Act. You know, we went through here, we went through the Homestead Act, people took the best grounds, they landed on those grounds, and these were kind of the wastelands that the federal government woke up one day and said, we've got to have somebody taking care of these or there's going to be a problem. And so they said, let's go out with a system where we lease these lands to agricultural entities that will then, and you know, put regulation on them so that they will take care of the ground and manage this ground.
Once unwanted, public lands are in high demand today, which often leads to competing interests.
Problem number two, of course, is that our public lands, including our national forests, are desired by a fairly broad cross-section of interests, not only cattlemen and ranchers, but forest products companies, minerals and oil and gas developers, recreationists, hunters, fishermen, and environmentalists from urban areas.
That's where the National Cattlemen's Beef Association comes in, using a close relationship with the Public Lands Council to help balance demands.
Public Lands Council's out there at the forefront fighting these issues, trying to maintain a balance between environmental considerations and economic productivity. And the same balance that we're trying to strike here is going to affect the rest of the country, so we all need to band together to make sure that our industry overall is as strong as possible.
We've always been firm believers in the multiple use concept, and there's room for everybody, and properly managed lands benefits all.
As long as we as ranchers are out here, we tend not to post our ground. There's a few that do, but the majority of us do not. So you keep us out here, keep us economically viable, keep us out here maintaining the resource, the other groups will continue to have access.
Cattle play an important role in managing public lands. Without them, large amounts of undergrowth can build and result in catastrophic fires like the one witnessed in Idaho.
And if you use grazing for a tool, we can reduce those costs of fighting those huge fires, we can reduce those costs of having to rehab all this country, and you still derive all the benefits from it.
Livestock producers also provide significant environmental benefits.
When we look at the environmental consequences of ranching, we look not only at what is the effect on public lands of grazing, but what's the effect of seeing ranches subdivided into ranchettes or subdivisions, and what does that create by way of additional environmental complications?
The Public Lands Council says it's important to help ranchers continue to make a living on these lands while maintaining important natural resources.
I don't know how you can get any more efficient use of a land than to turn forage, which grows every year, and turn that into food and fiber for the nation. It's pretty much as natural as it gets.
For NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman, I'm Jim Witt.
PLC continues its work to keep ranching alive in the West. The group is hosting a summit in February. To learn more, visit cattlemantocattleman.org.